Hello folks, my name is Mark, this is Why I Hate the World, how you guys doing? So, longtime viewers of my little rants here know that I am an ex-conspiratard, pretty much. I am very well versed in the conspiracy theory lore and stuff like that. I was really into it right around in the early Bush administration, and sort of came to an awakening and got out of this stuff at around 05, 06 or so. But, I was really into it. As a kid, what kind of got me into it was I was very interested in UFOs, because I always loved sci-fi. And, you read about Roswell, and then you read Richard Hoagland's book about the monuments on Mars. And you start, especially then the internet shows up and you start looking up pictures of aliens and UFOs and reading stories about them and stuff like that. And before you know it, one thing leads to another, and you're reading about, the New World Order and all this other baloney, right? I don't think I ever went completely off the deep end. But, never really believed in, reptiles and, reptilian alien overlords at the center of the earth and shit like that, of course. But, I did believe in things like, for example, say that there may be groups of people running corporations and stuff like that who have undue influence in world of governments, and certain events may have been engineered, And it's sort of one of those things that you, when you don't really know how the world actually works, stuff like this fill in the gaps for you, And then as you grow up and you learn more and you realize why certain things are highly implausible and how other things are outright bullshit, right? So, but here's the thing. Something I noticed is that people that are really into this stuff and really kind of buy it hook, line, and sinker, they all kind of say the same stupid shit over and over again. And I would like to read for you a comment that I got from a guy on DTube. Because I've been putting my videos there lately because, YouTube fucking sucks. Right. And YouTube stopped paying me, so maybe I'll try this other thing. Anyway, and basically this guy was trying to convince me that the CIA runs the, directs the media, because 50 years ago there was a project from the CIA called Project Mockingbird, where they would disseminate propaganda in other countries, right? And because they had this project that they did, 50 years ago, that must mean that they control all of the media out there now. So let me read for you this little comment I got. This is after I asked him for some proof for this, right? And he said, if you're looking for a document from the government explicitly stating this is currently happening, good luck. However, my proof comes from, first, knowing this exists. Second, because I'm able to see the news being presented by major outlets in a different way. Third, who is Jeff Bezos? What companies does he own or have close ties to? CIA couldn't have anything to do with him, could they? I can show you the whole, but you have to follow the rabbit. Everyone's proof, in quotes, will be whatever facts they find that ring true. There's a lot of BS to unpack in that comment. And first thing I want to kind of say is this notion that and this guy kind of expresses this a little bit in this paragraph. When he says at the bottom, you have to, I can show you the whole, but you have to follow the rabbit. Basically what he's saying is, I don't have to provide proof. You do your own research. Like, how many times have you heard someone of the conspiracy, persuasion, or somebody like Alex Jones, or other people out there that say these things like people like Graham Hancock, for example, or there's a guy in England I used to follow called Chris Everard, I think. Anyway, they'll always, these are people that get paid to do lectures. They'll go out, they'll they'll do a lecture on symbolism in corporations, like corporate logos, symbolism, and how it relates to the ancient Samaritans or some shit like that. And how that supposedly means that there's some shadowy group controlling all the entire fucking universe. And they'll say things at the end of, after presenting, an hour and a half of highly implausible claims with very little to back them all up, they'll say something to the effect of, "Don't believe me, do your own research." Kind of what this guy just said. I'll show you the hole, but you have to follow the rabbit. Do your own research, discover it for yourself, right? And what that is, it's basically shifting the burden of proof onto you, which is bullshit, okay? Because they're the ones making the claim, all right? So this guy, this comment, he basically is claiming that the CIA runs the fucking media, right? And is now telling me to research it for myself to find the proof. It's like, well, no, man, you're making the fucking claim. You're telling me that the CIA runs the media, whatever the media means, right? You have to provide the proof for that. Okay? I don't have to provide shit. I'm not the one who's making any claim at all. All right? Because I don't fucking believe it. You fucking say that it's happening. You provide the proof for that. It's shifting the burden of proof, but it's not only that, it's also pretentious bullshit, kind of like, and it makes the person saying it gives them like an air of superiority, like, I've done my research, and all of that shit. It's the kind of like, you ever get somebody who says something to you, like if you have an argument with someone and they claim to be an expert in it, for example, this just came to mind. I got into an argument online about copyright law, and then the person just tried to shut me down by saying, "Well, you're not a lawyer, but I am. I'm a copyright lawyer, and he wouldn't even talk to me about it." And it's like, that doesn't change the fact that you're incorrect. It doesn't matter. It's a logical fallacy where you argue from authority. Right. That's basically what this guy's. That's what that essentially is. It shifts the burden of proof, and it's like arguing from authority. But in this particular case, they're not. They're like an authority on bullshit. It's fucking ridiculous. The second thing this guy says in this comment, if you look at the bottom here, it says everyone's proof will be whatever facts they find that ring true. That's not what proof means, okay? That's the problem with conspiracy theorists, right? Is that they never have any actual real proof for anything. And there's always lots of circumstantial, proof, circumstantial evidence, and very, very weak linkages between things that are unrelated. But there's never any real proof. Now, what does proof? What is proof and evidence, right? In this sense are interchangeable. There's never any real evidence, you could say. Let's not say proof, because proof is different. They never have any actual physical, real evidence, to that actually can support their case, right? And what does that mean in this instance? What does evidence actually mean? Well, for example, in this comment that I had from this person, he's claiming the CIA runs the media, right? Well, imagine for a second what that would actually mean if it were real, right? If the CIA actually was running the media, whatever the media means. Like, first off, what is that? What is the media? Is it like the networks? I'm presuming he means the network, NBC, Fox, CBS, MSNBC, whatever, right? I'm assuming he means that, because the media, the word media means a lot of stuff, it's not just TV news, it's also movies and the internet and, newspapers, whatever ones are left, and magazines and periodicals and all kinds of shit. The media can mean basically any form of communication. So what the fuck is he actually talking about? He's really just talking about the mainstream media is what he's talking about. Right. Well, how how would they be doing? How would they do it? How would the CIA control the media? You know, it's not like the head of the CIA just calls up the, you know, president of MSNBC and says, I want you to run this story. And that's not really how it would work, you know. There would have to be a plan that someone in the CIA would have to come up with, right? So that would involve, you know, an actual team, right? Because if somebody makes the plan, it would have to be written down somewhere, because you don't just go to a meeting and spout bullshit. You have to actually write it out. You know, you have to create the plan, you have to get a goal, you have to get a budget, you know, all of that stuff. Once your plan is approved, then it gets budgeted, so there would be proof somewhere out there, you know, in a black budget someplace, money would get allocated to this, right? People would get assembled onto a team, right? They would get, you know, their different roles would be defined, and they would get orders. Those orders would be written out. Those people would have to give progress reports, right? All of this stuff would be written out and filed away, and, you know, whether that's electronically or, you know, or whatever, right? These people would have to be paid, so there would be, you know, money in paychecks going to these people. There'd be payrolls, you know, there'd be records of that. They'd pay taxes, these people. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if federal government employees really pay taxes, but still, there would be evidence of them getting paid and shit like that, right? There would, you know, be requisitions for equipment, right? These people would need computers, number one. They would need offices, you know, they would need chairs and office supplies and shit like that, right? They need email addresses, they would need phones, you know, they would need email address, there'd have to be email servers. So there's all kinds of shit that and all of this stuff has to be paid for, right? All of that leaves a paper trail. Money has to be allocated for all of this stuff, and there has to be budgets that all that has to be accounted for, right? Yeah, sure, you could argue this information is classified, but how much of that exactly is classified? You know, it leaves a trail. Okay, these things leave paper trails. Even stuff that's classified leaves a paper trail. That's how we know that when certain conspiracy theories that are actually real, that actually happened. You know, for example, say the Iran-Contra affair, right? That was a real conspiracy that actually really happened, and we have this kind of evidence for it. You know, people are tied to that. There's names, there's you know, there's a paper trail, and that's why, you know, that's why we know that this is like a real fucking thing, and something like, you know, faking the moon landing isn't, right? So these people never have any of that. You know, if you notice, none of them ever have it. They just make shit up. You know, if you watch Alex Jones, and he'll go on and he'll be in the middle of a sentence and he'll say that, oh, I just got a tip from my inside man in the Department of Justice, you know. Like I remember watching one right after the Las Vegas shooting, where he said that as he's live on air, he's got his phone and he says, I just got a tip from the sheriff, my inside guy at the sheriff's department, who says there's a bunch of Antifa stuff inside of this dude's apartment, which I'm going to delete right now. And then he like faked, like he basically just made this shit up, pulled it out of his ass, and then faked like he was deleting it. Get the fuck out of here. All right. That's not evidence. See, if you rely on unnamed sources and, you know, for crap that you can't prove, that's not evidence. That's speculation. That's you making shit up, right? That's Alex Jones making it up right there, right? And it's fucking ridiculous. You know, that's not what evidence means. You know, there is no, you know, like this guy says in this fucking comment that I have here. You know, what proof, whatever facts they find that ring true to you. There are no facts that are true to me, right? There are facts that are true. Understand? They're true to me, they're true to everybody. Because if it's not true, then it's not a fact. See? That's the fucking... And that's why this conspiracy theory shit, it's not... You know, it's a belief system, is what it is. You know, it's basically... It's like a cult, you know, like... It's almost a religion. You know, because they believe these things to be true when they don't have any real evidence that any of it actually is. And it has its own narrative, and it has its own heroes and villains, and it has its own philosophies and all this other bullshit. And that's, you know, subjects for, you know, lots of different videos coming in the future there. I mean, really, I could make this entire channel about conspiracy theories, you know, if I wanted to. And I don't know, folks. It's just, it basically all comes down to don't believe this stuff. You know, don't believe this stuff. These people, they're basically, you know, I don't know. I mean, I feel bad for guys like this who have kind of like bit into it all the way, because I know how it is. I know how it is and it's very attractive to feel like, you know, you're part of the inside scoop, you know. And like all of these people, you know, they all pretend that they're like fucking Jim Garrison, and they're just about to blow the lid off of some big time conspiracy, and it's all going to come crashing down any minute now, and everyone is going to realize that they were right all along, you know. And that's not, it's not going to happen. It's basically a fucking religion is what it is, and it has the same, you know, hang-ups as any religion out there. And if you speak out against its narrative, they'll ostracize you the same way that people from a religion will. And it's like, I don't know. I just really, folks, don't buy it. Don't buy into it. You know, don't be sitting there awake at night afraid that the NWO is going to come take away your gun and throw you into a concentration camp, and then they're going to wake up tomorrow in a worldwide version of Nazi Germany overrun by fucking shape-shifting alien Nazi fucking reptiles. Right? Don't believe this stuff, folks. It's all bullshit. Anyway, that's all I got. Adios.